June 2021. Coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. This is Breakfast Central.
It's 7 a.m. in Mali, 9 a.m. in South Africa, Egypt, and Namibia, and it's 10 a.m. in Kenya and Ethiopia. But right here in Lagos, it is 8 a.m. Welcome to the Thursday edition of your favorite, your colorful breakfast show from the continent of Africa. We're News Central TV. This is Breakfast Central. I am Oluchi Inobong.
Good morning, Africa. I am Olisa Chukuma, and it's such a delight indeed and a pleasure to have you join us this morning as we get set to unpack some of the happenings across the African continent just for you. We would like to start with a look at the headlines.
Talking about the Ghanaian Rastafarian student who gets justice in court.
Updates on the Pan-African parliamentary elections and the scuffle that happened there.
Still in Mali, we're looking at how ECOWAS condemns coup in Mali.
Well, a look at the business angle, second day of blackout in South Africa.
And of course, we'll be giving you trends across the continent of Africa, right here on Breakfast Central.
All right, so you're still watching Breakfast Central. Thank you very much for still watching. And let's go straight to the newspapers to review them this morning. We'll start in West Africa, Nigeria to be more precise, with the Punch to see what they have for us. Huge reactions, I have to say. So it says Nigerians attack the federal government, that's the FG, and government fumes as one of the big stories today. Twitter deletes President Buhari's what they call civil war post, and it says Buhari's tweet violates our rules. That's according to a media firm Twitter. And post proves Buhari's President Buhari, a dictator, says Adibanjo. So there's more on that much later. Also on the front page, huge spread of arms. This is not a petri dish, serving, but that's guns and bullets. It says 81 suspected kidnappers, bandits paraded, 14 AK-47s and 47 rifles recovered, and the criminals paraded. You can see all of that on the front page of the Punch. Also, 8 feared killed as truck rams into motorcycle in Lagos. Okada riders kick against it. So all of that on the front page of the Punch in Nigeria.
All right, moving from Nigeria, we move to Uganda, looking at the Daily Monitor this morning. Now, looking at the Daily Monitor, the very big story here is talking about the hunt for assassins. And it says 14 named on Joint Operations Committee. It says 5 hurdles facing investigators. Now, you also have the picture of the little girl who was murdered, and right now there's a hunt for the assassin. It says the picture has the outgoing Works and Transport Minister as well as his wife viewing the body of their daughter during the waykeeping and the burial ceremony. Now you also have that on the Daily Monitor this morning. Now still on the Daily Monitor, page 7, it says doctors to get 5 million shillings as starting pay, says Museveni. You also have that information in the Daily Monitor for you to read. Looking at the healthcare sector, page 7, it says flu cough outbreak hits children hardest. That's what it says in the Daily Monitor this morning. Now, gunmen kill 2 security guards. You could also find this information from the Daily Monitor in Uganda.
From Uganda in East Africa, let's go down south to the Sowetan in South Africa to see what they have this morning. So it says on the front page, Bentley driver speaks out, one of the trending stories there. It says businessman tells of roadside assault and intimidation at the hands of rogue officer. The case here has been opened with the Northwest Police in South Africa, and they're saying that they traced a car driven by armed assailants to the to Gauteng government. Well, more on that on page 4. Also at the bottom, we'll be talking about that later. ESCOM wage negotiations head to CCMA. All about blackouts and load shedding recently in the southern parts in the country. And at the top there, well, on the right, it talks about government doing little to help black businesses. More on that page 5, and it says buy shares in first female-owned Mutual Bank. That's the big story in South Africa this morning, all about girl power. And at the top, you can see the drilling there. It's the borehole drilling in process in Achimota. Yesterday, as a humanitarian organization, Gift of the Givers had made an impassioned plea to South Africans to donate bottled water or cash to help reduce the water supply crisis affecting two Johannesburg hospitals. And you can see that drilling going down in the front of the hospital. All that and more on the front page of the Sowetan in South Africa.
All right, moving from South Africa, the Sowetan papers, we are going to Namibia. That's the New Era newspaper this morning, and it's quite a big story we have here. We're still looking at COVID-19. While a lot of people are taking their vaccines, Namibians want to pray the virus away. Now it says, let us pray. That's what we have there in the New Era this morning. In the New Era, it says, let us pray. It says 2/3, that's about 63% of Namibians believe that prayer is more effective than the vaccine in preventing COVID-19 infection. That's what it says in the New Era this morning. Now, also in the New Era this morning, we're looking at reparations. Now, governments, communities at odds. So it says in the New Era for you to read this morning.
All right, so there you have it for the morning papers right here on Breakfast Central on News Central. Yes, indeed, more top stories right up next. All right, so let's go to Ghana, where a Rastafarian high school student is heading back to class after a high court ruled in his favor to allow him to go to school with the dreadlocks. Now, the prestigious Achimota Secondary School in the capital, Accra, had refused Tyrone Mugai and a fellow student admission unless they cut their locks.
Now, the Human Rights Division of the High Court said the school's rules could not override the fundamental human right of the students. Now, the school is arguing that it would have dire consequences on the school's discipline, among other things, if they came to the school with their locks. Now, the Rastafarians consider dreadlocks a part of their religious tradition.
All right, we're joined by Ghanaian rap musician sensation, Daddy Bosco. We do apologize for the break in transmission between ourselves and Daddy Bosco, who was trying to give us some sense of why this is a big case. The school, clearly, they will say have an argument in terms of disciplinary issues, but...
yeah, you know, a lot of people have come to ask so many questions, and the school itself is being questioned now. Some of the questions people are asking is there a standard, is there a model in terms of hairstyles in the school? Are all the students expected to be on low cuts, or are students expected to follow a certain hairstyle or a certain pattern in the school? Now, if they were to be on low cuts, could this be a reason why the school is standing on its ground, insisting that the hair needs to be cut? Or could there be other reasons? And
is it a case of stigma against people with dreadlocks, or, you know, those that perhaps identify in a somewhat what we call the Rastafari? And that's why we had Daddy Bosco trying to give us a sense of this one. It's a big case in Ghana, also making it to the courts.
Also, while the court has ruled in favor of the child, that's the student, to go back to school with that hair, people are beginning to advise the guardian not to even send the child to that particular school at this moment.
I'm sure you grew up with a couple of students who had those. I get jealous when I see, you know, students young or old with long dreadlocks.
All right, now, one of the reasons why people are saying that the child should not be sent back to their school is because should that child go back to their school, possibly, allegedly, there could be more stigmatization. I mean, if the child breaks a little rule, it could be escalated, you know, the way human face could be put in certain situations, I mean, and the child could also be, in a way, stigmatized, just as we're about to ask the guest on it. So there's a lot to it, even if, I mean, right now the school is taking the case a step higher. I mean, yes, they've heard what the Court of Appeal, what the court has said, but they're taking it a notch higher. But if you had a child who was having so much attention in a situation like this, would you still want that child to go to a school like that? That's a big question that a lot of people are waiting.
And it's created quite a heightened one in Ghana, because perhaps outside school premises and other schools, what is the fate of other schools in terms of admitting students who've got dreadlocks, especially when it comes to boys, because I think those are the ones who are much more affected with the long locks. Yeah, he's got it, and look at the lots of them. I'm jealous. I'm quite jealous.
All right, I think we have him back now.
All right, Daddy Bosco, we were talking about this case, the significance of it in Ghana, because it's created so much attention.
I tell you, like I said earlier, for us it's a reaffirmation of the supremacy of the Constitution, because it's been a while. Children have been wanting to go to school with their dreadlocks, but they don't have the opportunity. And even for us as Rastafari, it tells the good people of Ghana that we're part and parcel of the citizenry. The interesting thing is that although Achimota said they were going to appeal, yesterday the Attorney General said they had to put the brakes on and then allow the students to come to the school.
All right, I need to really ask this question, Daddy Bosco. Away from school premises, do Rastafaris like yourselves, or even younger or older, especially for young males, do they face discrimination of some sort? Is it frowned upon to carry your dreadlocks as a young kid around Ghana?
I tell you something, I've been watching this thing over the past 40 years, and there's been a significant improvement, because these days you see people who are wearing dreadlocks and they might not even be Rastafari. And if you see the growing number of women who are wearing dreadlocks, because
All right, I think network situation is causing a big barrier, but I think he's also back right now.
Go on, Daddy Bosco, carry on.
yeah, so like I was saying, the reception is improved significantly. I have to be honest, because
All right, so Daddy Bosco, the Rastafarian Council of Ghana, giving us a sense of what's going on. So it says it's improved in the last couple of years. We're going to follow that story right here on News Central. Also, the question about is it on African, is it African?
Is it a religious thing, or is it now becoming a social thing? Because just as he was about to say, I think from what he was saying, he was saying that now you have more people who are even outside the Rastafarian society who actually have it on. On the other hand, in a country like Nigeria, where we are, if your child has dreadlocks, some cultures believe that it should be cut and that there's some spiritual implications for allowing your child have dreadlocks. So I think
in case of Samson and Delilah, because I want to grow mine. All right, let's move on. Still Breakfast Central on News Central. We now move to South Africa. We're talking about the African Parliament, Pan-African Parliament, and the issues that went on there in terms of the infighting and some people being asked to walk out. We're now joined right here on News Central live. Guest who'll be breaking it down for us, and none other than Melvin Tijan Mansarai. He is the proprietor Parliamentary Update Group, that's PUG, in Sierra Leone, a group that monitors parliamentary news and organizations. Welcome, Melvin.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. All right, now, so 3 days running, and yet no agreement has been reached. Walk us through the latest from the Pan-African Parliament so far.
Well, the latest from the African Parliament, that in a letter or a press statement from the Clerk of Parliament, Peter Arawa, the activities of the Parliament are suspended further, meaning indefinitely. And this stems from the fact that, as cited in the introduction, there have been fisticuffs, mainly over the issue of rotation of the presidency. And the path was to stage elections, wherein a new president has been elected alongside 4 vice presidents. The zone of contention is that the southern and northern regions caucuses, firstly, the party is made up of 5 caucuses: the north, the south, east, central, and the west.
All right, Melvin.
And over the years, since its establishment 14 years ago, as a byproduct of an African Union, previous OAU products, it has been a practice wherein the presidency has been going to either an East African, Central African, or West African.
All right.
And this seems to have disturbed the Southern and Northern Caucus, arguing that the Parliament had reached a decision previously that rotation of the presidency must be part of it.
Okay, Melvin. Now, a lot of Africans, north, south, east, or west, well, they even ask, why create the African Parliament, Pan-African African Parliament, a couple of years ago, when you already have the African Union? What are the different roles of these two organizations, and who is subject to who at this point when these kind of decisions, need to be taken?
Definitely, that question is answered in the Constitutive Act of the African Union, which clearly states that the Pan-African Parliament is an organ of the African Union. And there are several other organs, such as that of the courts, financial institutions, so on and so forth. So in summary, to answer your question, the PAC is supposed to be a subject of the African Union, or at least active organ of the Union. And so far, this is also being argued by some members of the Parliament, saying that they have their own sovereignty, they have their own autonomy amongst others. But as per legislation, the PAC is supposed to be an organ of the African Union.
All right, Melvin, you have been monitoring the developments at the Parliament. Yeah, so what should Africans expect in the coming days?
Well, I think we should still expect uncertainty, unfortunately. For the fact that over the last couple of days, the developments have not been pleasant. Firstly, we saw the fight, and later, as of yesterday and the day before, we saw a protest by the African National Congress against a member. Hello?
Yes, go on,
go on, we can hear you.
Yes. A member of the Senegalese delegation, a member of parliament by the name of Honorable Achimota, allegedly for assaulting a female member of the South African Parliament in person of Honorable Martina. So the trends are not actually at all, and so many people like civil service organizations that monitor Parliament are saying the House must go back to the Institute. They must be able to debate and resolve on issues. And if they cannot, as per the articles of the OAU, those contentious matters should be referred to the African Court of Justice for Human Rights. And so far, we have not seen anything to that effect, other than a council member took the position and a media publication saying that the AU has indeed asked the PAC to put a hold on its business for a month and make sure that issues are sorted out.
All right, Melvin, just before we let you go, we saw the popular South African, politician Julius Malema also in the parliament. He had some pretty tasty words said after the fracas that we've seen. So what is his stance right now for Julius Malema? Because many have really said that the parliament is going to having the quote-unquote Malema effect.
Of course, Malema is a political showboy, as we've seen over the years. And interestingly, in the South African context, he's taking sides with the what we call the rival, the ANC. Remember, he's the Economic Freedom Private Party, EFF. But on this issue of rotation, it seems to be united with the governing ANC party and the entire Southern Region caucus. But to just highlight a few of his statements, on the very first day of this issue, we saw how he made some scathing remarks. I don't want to use it for this now theory. But after which he said, in response to a certain member from the Western Caucus saying that he's ill-treated, maltreated by the South African Parliament, and outlining several other issues, his response was that South Africans don't go to places where they are not invited, and so on and so forth. So to put that perspective, he out of ran for two sentiments coming up. Nationalist sentiment, that was global sentiment, and they are caring for a parliament that is supposed to proclaim African unity in nation.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Melvin Tejan Mansura, who is the proprietor of the Parliamentary Update Group in Sierra Leone, a group that really monitors parliamentary news and decision-making and organizations across Africa. Thank you once again, Melvin, for coming on Breakfast Central, News Central, via phone from Sierra Leone. All right, up next on Breakfast Central, business.
All right, now we're back on Breakfast Central on News Central TV. Do not forget you can follow us on all social media platforms. It is at News Central TV. All right, in business now, South Africans are up in arms over a second round of rolling blackouts in the country this week, with the latest round of blackouts coming as temperatures drop to single digits. Now, the country's power utility has cited breakdowns at 2 points of its plants.
But bouts of load shedding, basically blackouts or no light as we call it in Nigeria, have been a challenge for South Africa for many years now. To really break down all of this one is our business desk editor, Nasser Agbalaya, joining us right now. Nas, good morning to you. What's going on in South Africa? Eskom still in hot waters. Is there any way out for them?
Good morning, guys. Well, yes, we all know that Eskom has been underperforming because most of their equipment are old, dilapidated. They need a complete overhaul. Yeah, you mentioned something right now. Yeah, the load shedding, it's not their fault. Yes, 2 plants are offline now, but there are sort of new options on the ground for Eskom. They are looking at getting external energy resources from other sources to augment what they have currently. But let's not forget that Eskom has over $60 billion in debt, which has been hampering many deals for Eskom. Now, there's last night on News Central, we spoke with Ted Bloom. He's a South African energy expert. Let's listen to what he had to say.
The problem with the reliability or lack of reliability of our main utility lies back in what's been happening over the last 20-odd years, since 2001. In 2001, Eskom, our utility, was voted Global Utility of the Year and won an award in New York City. Since then, the organization has been politicized and government has taken over control and nomination of the management of that utility. And we've seen since then that the people that have run the organization, including the board, have not been competent. And in fact, the organization has been at the core of state capture, as they call it here, which is just a nice way of putting it as state corruption by the ruling party and its emiracies.
All right, Naz. He mentioned state capture again for Eskom, embroiled in all the corruption scandals. But if South Africans have to switch out certain appliances, where does that leave them in terms of their tariffs and the economy now?
Well, basically, they have been advised to reduce consumption. That doesn't leave much, because if you're not at home, nothing is being done. But when you're at home or where you need to power your appliances, you should have the power supply. And that is not happening as much as it should. That's the major problem here in South Africa. Now, the plants, even when they were not offline, they were not generating at optimal capacity. Basically because over time, they have not been upgraded. Most of the power plants are coal-powered and they're not really efficient. Now, even the thermonuclear plant, which South Africa has, is not functioning as it should. Now, we all know that South Africa is Africa's most industrialized economy, and right now they are in a recession. One of the main factors of this is because now the power supply they are getting from their utility is not adequate. And now, I mentioned something earlier that they are looking for external means of getting this power supply. A Turkish firm, Car Power, has been approached to generate over 1,000 megawatts of power supply. This is hoped to start in the next couple of weeks or months, but even that has a small snag. Now, a certain law firm is probing the process in which this a new company has been given the consensus to give Eskom power supply. They're saying that it didn't follow due process. So that could also see further delay South Africa having more lights turned on.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
let's just see how it goes in South Africa. I mean, the next couple of weeks, looking at the power distribution and the power management, especially this is quite crucial for the consumers in the country who would be looking to how to manage their resources and how this will even affect businesses and the economy at large. But thank you so much, Naz, for the latest business updates. Thank you for coming.
I'll tell you one thing, Naz. I'm calling my friends out in South Africa so that we can measure my own NEPA, PSC, usage.
We could even give them light if they want to.
Well, thank you, Naz.
All right, guys.
All right.
All right. All right, so you're still watching Breakfast Central on News Central TV. Coming up next.
All about the French Open. Serena Williams, she's through to the next round.
And we'll be giving you trends across the continent of Africa on Breakfast Central.
Plus, the programs to watch later today on News Central. You're still watching Breakfast Central on the Thursday, the third day of June 2021. Let's roll with the show now. This time, exercise. Now, it helps people lose weight and lower the risk of some diseases. And we know that exercise also can help your body at a healthy weight and help a person age well. But in this age and time, people exercise for different reasons. And perhaps you might say the quest for six packs is one of them. Take a look at this. I'm trying to figure out where around Africa
where that happened,
doesn't
right?
look like Lagos, Nigeria. But
Are you sure?
was that exercise or was that torture?
It's in a bit to probably get six packs, you know? You know how intimidating some guys can feel when they see their fellow guys, I mean, having the six packs and, you know, the guy is just, and you know, I'm wondering, what is he trying to look?
Okay, I can understand that.
Oh,
What is
one and two.
No
and
way.
Three, the guy is off the rope. This is hilarious, really it is.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is, do not try this at home.
Please do not try this at home.
Oh my God.
You know.
What were they thinking? This does not give you six packs.
I mean, this even doesn't look healthy. I mean, looking at the tire.
He still wants to continue. He wants to continue. Okay, well, there
Please
you
do
have
not
it.
try this at home. It actually has health implications. I mean, putting that amount of weight on the tummy of someone who's lying flat, anything can happen. It's not a means to actually encourage anybody to exercise or get the six packs at its wear.
All right, we're just taking the mickey of it, but we know it's quite dangerous. Well, there you have it on what was that for this morning on Breakfast Central on News Central. Right then, don't forget that you can catch us at News Central TV on Twitter. Follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, and also watch us live on Facebook. All
right, now there are reports, that the Nigerian House of Representatives Special Committee has received a proposal to change Nigeria's name to UAR. Now, Elizabeth Musa is here to tell us more on Trendwave.
So yesterday, the 2nd of June, the House of Representatives Special Committee received a proposal to change Nigeria's name to United African Republic, or the United Alkebulan Republic, which means Mother of Mankind. According to Adeleye Jokotoye, the tax consultant who submitted the proposal, Nigeria's present name is an imposition of its past colonial masters. He also added that the change of name would physically and psychologically reflect a new beginning. In his words, at this crossroads in our history, it is mandatory that we change our name to reflect a new beginning, which will be ushered in with a new constitution. This comes amidst the very number of issues that the country is facing. We shall now see how Nigerians are reacting to this. Let's take a look at some of the tweets. So Wale Adetona says that renaming the country United African Republic will not change anything. People just want security, light, good roads, and a working economy. Is that too much to ask for? Let's take a look at more tweets in this. This is one from Dr. Emto. He says, United African Republic should be for Northeast and Northwest. Nobody wants that. We're not united, and you can't be forcing unity on us when you already divided it with more than you met it. Nigeria has failed, in his words. Changing our name will not solve any problem. There are more tweets, and this is from the Oracle himself. It says the House of Representatives received the proposal to rename Nigeria to United African Republic. As laughable as it is, this is but a solid portrayal of the joke that our legislature has become. Pathetic at best. Nigerians need better governance, not a silly, if not ill-advised, name change. That's his opinion. And people have different issues. So this is from Timi Dakolo. He says, now that you people are planning to change Nigeria's name to United African Republic, what will I do with my great nation song? Una, they stress me too much. So there you have it from Nigeria. So what do you make of this?
Well, we've been following the reactions, the change of name. I think people really taking it with tongue-in-cheek, so to speak, Liz.
Yes, and looking at the situation, I mean, some other people have come out to look to ask questions that would the change of name, is it going to affect the debts that Nigeria is owing, or is it a bit to run away from the debts that Nigeria is owing at this point in time? I mean, for some people, maybe it choke.
And this comes, just barely a couple of hours after yesterday, Liz. I'm sure you've been following this one. Twitter deleting a tweet of Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari, the tweet that was, quote, language they understand tweet, Lizzie. I wonder how Nigerians have been reacting on that on Twitter. You know, it's we talked about Donald Trump having his tweets deleted, in fact, suspended at some point. This time, it's Nigeria's very own president.
For this particular one, I think Nigerians are really excited about it because that didn't go down well with so many people when that tweet was. It was actually a video. It was actually President Buhari speaking and then translated it into a tweet. But Nigerians are actually, because it was people themselves that reported that tweet and made it now to get suspended. But what's funny is our own Minister of Information actually put out something where he said that, you know what, that Twitter's mission in Nigeria is suspect. So there's a video from Lai Mohammed. If you can take this video so we see Lai Mohammed's reaction to the taking down of that tweet. Okay, we don't have the video, but there's actually a video.
I really wanted to listen.
I was looking forward to it.
The reaction on it, because lots of people have been following that. And then you now have this, what's the name again? United African Republic.
United African Republic. Let's see how that goes, because this is just like a few months after we did NIN, we tried they imposed NIN on us. So now what's going to happen after? So that's a video of President Buhari, but there's an actual video of Lai Mohammed where he was speaking to this issue. So that's it.
As Twitter deleted the violent tweets that Nnamdi Kanu has been sending, has it? The same Twitter during the NSAS program that was funding NSAS protesters was the first to withdraw, to close the account of former president of U.S., Trump. And you see, when people were burning police stations and killing policemen in Nigeria during NSAS, for Twitter, it was about the right to protest. But when a similar thing happened on the Capitol, it became insurrection. You see, we are not going to be fooled by anybody. We have a country to rule, and we'll do so to the best of our ability. Twitter's mission in Nigeria, citing those two examples, is very suspect.
Wow.
That's what he has to say. He says Twitter's mission in Nigeria is suspect.
quote unquote, according to him.
Yeah, it's because it was a thread of tweets, and they picked out that one from Buhari and went chop. So we can actually rephrase that and say that Twitter trumps Buhari's tweets. Yeah, it can become an action verb, action word. When Twitter deletes your tweet, it becomes a Trump.
All
right, Lindsay.
Exactly. Well, let's see how this goes with the old name change thing. Probably in a few, I don't know, we'll start calling ourselves a United African Republic. I'm just trying to think of the description for how you describe citizens of the United African Republic.
And the other name at the
And the other name at the end that says Mother of Mankind.
Let's see how that goes. But quickly, let's move to Ghana. After a 1-month break from social media, the superstar musician Shatta Wale has come back in style, addressing his fans as a nation. He addresses many salient issues in the music industry, and we have a video on that. Let's take a look.
With you all. When my team decided to put this together, I asked that we make this an address to the fans. And then a member of my team said, no, let's make it to the nation. I thought that was too much, so I asked why it's being an address to the nation. And his response and the reason you are watching this tonight. He said, you already speak to the nation every day. You do that through your music. When you said, heal them with prayer, that was an address to the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm here to address the nation once again. But this time, there won't be any instrumental. I'm here to talk about 3 things. Mainly, 1, officially announce my return to social media. 2, update on my American trip and lessons learned. 3, industry matters. First of all, I wish to thank the media, both traditional and new media, for the love and support for the Shatta Wale brand and for the Ghana music industry. There can be no progressive industry without the media. We thank you, and a big thank you to corporate Ghana as well for believing in the industry and its talents. We are hopeful that in the midst of the ongoing COVID pandemic, we shall be able to further advance our dealings to all.
So there you have it. That's a presidential address from a musician.
He ain't no president.
Let's talk about style.
Go on, Liz.
What you guys make
He
of
ain't
this?
no president.
He came in a presidential manner to address his fans and to address the people, and he actually addressed really salient points.
Yeah.
He talked about using music as for tourism. It spoke about so many things, and he spoke about how Ghana can, harness their music, their resources, and boost their music so that they can have more Grammy winners, so many things. And it was really impressive. He got so many people talking, like, how can a musician actually come addresses people in this way? The courage, the charisma, everything was on point. That was a presidential speech from Shatta Wale. Brilliant.
Presidential Shatta Wale State of the Industry Address. Okay. Is he, calling a ministerial committee or parliamentary committee?
Definitely not. But there are peaks for me. Like, people were able to take away things from the address, which was the most important thing. But that's all I can give to you on Trend Rave today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Liz.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Alrighty. I mean, that was quite a lot for me. I mean, looking at the Shatta Wale and his speech. But some people come out to say talk is cheap. You're not the first. Talk is cheap.
All right. Still to come on Breakfast Central. All about tennis. Serena Williams. She is through to the 3rd round of the French Open. Not bad at all. All right, just before we go, some sports update for you all about the French Open. Well, that lady, yes, 7 seed Serena Williams, she is through to the next round of the French Open out there. Not a bad one for her in 3 sets. That's 6-3, 5-7, 6-1. She defeated Romania's Michaela Buzănescu, which means she is still in the tournament. And with the black that Naomi Osaka is out, many are saying that perhaps it might be this year that she makes that historic Grand Slam, title and indeed, record. So that good one for Serena Williams. She's through to the next round. And quickly away from tennis, let's go to some athletics. Nigeria's sprint queen, Blessing Okagbare. We know we're getting set for the Olympics in 50 days' time. So Okagbare had a good race yesterday, not bad for her. She sprinted at the PTS meeting in Slovakia, becoming the first woman to run under 10 seconds after setting a meeting record of 10.98 seconds to win the women's 100 meters. She finished ahead of Ireland's Cara Neville. It makes her a third sub-11 clocking in 2021, which means she's in form as we look forward ahead to Tokyo 2020. There you have it for the results there. Okagbare finishing first ahead of Cara Neville and then Naomi Sydney of the Netherlands. So good luck to her. That flag, we hope, perhaps might reign high at Tokyo 2020.
All righty.
Well, so there you have it. All in the days exceeding, you have to say, in the world of sports, business, news, and lots more. Just before we go, let's let you know what you can expect much later on News Central Today.
10:30 West African time, we have In the Game.
Beyond the Continent at 1 p.m. West African time.
And tonight, 9 p.m. West African time, we have NC Continental Prime, all on News Central TV.
Well, many thanks for watching and staying tuned with us. So, Lisa Another will be with you again tomorrow.
Yes, it's the TGIF edition.
Bye-bye. Have a good one. I'm planning some dreadlocks for the future. Bye-bye.